Okay. So let's segue back into where I left off from the previous video last week. Um, so I had already told them that I was moving to Hawaii. I was so happy to get away from their ass and just start something new. I had already secured a job. Um, so at this point, once my job was secured, everything in the apartment was mine. So what I just started doing, I literally was getting ready. So I didn't move down there until July. July 3rd was, the day that me and Layla were moving to Hawaii. Now, mind you, once my cousin asked me to move down with her, like I said, I had my income tax. I did everything that I needed to do. I had got the car and everything, but now it was time to start a new journey. Like I said, I'm a free spirit, so I'm going to go where my heart tells me to go, and I'm going to, do that. So I forgot to mention that, like I said, I hadn't seen my family after they came to visit me in 2020, 2021, one of those. After they came to visit me, that was the last time I saw them. But the last time I saw my grandma physically was in 2017. No, it wasn't 2017 because I went down there for my birthday. I want to say maybe 2019, 20. It was before COVID. I decided, not to stay in Florida. I didn't want to stay in Florida for my birthday because it's lame and it's boring. And, my birthday has never really been celebrated. Nobody really cared about my birthday. So I made it a point to go and see my family. So I was able to see my grandma. Like I said, she was in a nursing home by this time. She had got out of the assisted living and her health was declining. So me and Layla took that trip and I went down to see her. Now, after that, when I knew I was going to make the move to Hawaii, I was able to fly down. I had enough money to fly down to see my grandma twice. Once in March, and then I saw her another time in April. And then once again, I'm going to always revert things back to God, because it's just like he gave me the opportunity to see my grandma twice. And I didn't get an eerie feeling, but it's just I felt like I wasn't going to have my grandma for a long time. So that's why I made the initiative to go. And I wanted to take Layla as well, too, because like I said, we've been gone since she was a month old. So she really didn't get to experience my family. She really didn't know them because of that sacrifice I made. Now, when I went down there in April, I ended up letting her know that I was going to be moving to Hawaii with my cousin Dominique. Like, kind of consider her my favorite cousin because, like, we were always on the same tip. Like, we were always, now she's younger than me, but still, like, cousins are cousins. And my grandma gave me the blessing to go. So that's another reason why I took the initiative, because like I said, I was going to move back to Alabama to spend more time with my grandma. And I'm going to try not to cry in this video because I love my grandma. I miss her every day. But like I said, I know that I just know. So after in April, I saw her. I flew back down to Florida to home, and I immediately started selling my stuff, selling my TVs and selling, trying to sell my car because, I was going to get new things in Hawaii. I always have a plan. Job secured. My lease is going to be up, by that time. I let the rent office know and, things like that. So May comes around and it's Mother's Day. Now, I forgot to mention again, my mom passed right before Mother's Day. She passed right before Mother's Day. So Mother's Day is really a touchy subject. It's a hard day for me and my sister. So, but I can be more open about it. But my sister really, my sister is big bleed. Like she's a G, so she's not going to express her feelings and things like that. And I had to understand that that's her way. That's what she does. But me, I'm the crybaby of the family. I'm the sensitive one. So, of course, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it and things like that. But, so, it's May now. And I called my grandma for Mother's Day. And I talked to her. And, we laugh on the phone and things like that. Get off the phone with her. Now, this is like May 12th. So, I'm in the midst of, getting prepared to go start a new journey in Hawaii. So it's May 22nd. I don't know the dates, may be wrong, but I know it's May 22nd or 20 or something like that. But, Layla's not with me. Layla is, in school. And her school was literally 5 minutes down the street. So Lay was in school, and I don't know, I just woke up that day feeling a little off. So what I used to like to do, I literally stayed across the street from the beach. Not across the street, but like 10 minutes from the beach. I was in Dania Beach, so the beach was literally across over the bridge. So when I wanted to clear my mind or, just think, I would go sit at the beach. So something told me to go to the beach that day. And I still have pictures of me sitting on the beach and, getting grounded. I like to ground myself when I feel like something's off or things like that, to get back in tune with myself, because I have exciting things coming my way. So why do I feel this way? Get to the beach, do some grounding, look at the water, have some thoughts, collect my thoughts and things like that. So I'm through with that, and I'm going to head back home and just, get a little breather before I have to pick my boo-boo up and, get right back into mommy mode. Y'all, when I tell you, I get to the house and I'm literally not even there. I got lashes on today. I can't. I'm literally not even there for 30 minutes. And I get a call from my uncle. Now, my uncle, we talk every now and then and stuff. But I, like I said, I don't really bother my uncle because he's a hardworking man. He has his own business. Of course, he's taking care of children. And, by this time, he has his granddaughter that he has full custody of, him and my aunt. So they still aren't able to really live their lives. So it's just, we call each other, we check in, make sure everything is good, and we keep it moving. But he calls me and he just goes silent on the phone. He's just like, B, because, once again, I'm the only one in the family that has like a nickname. So my grandma had me a nickname. My nickname for her was Poopy. And my uncle, my nickname for him is BB. So he always called me BB. And my mom's nickname was Bebe. So he calls me and he goes silent on the phone and he's like, are you sitting down? And I'm just like, because normally me and my uncle, we're cracking jokes. Like I said, our family is funny. So it didn't dawn on me. He asked me if I was sitting down. And I'm just like, no. I'm like, what do I need to sit down for? He was like, B, I need you to go sit down. And I'm just like, okay. And then he tells me that my grandma is gone. And I literally just broke down and started screaming. I literally just fell to the floor. And I'm sorry, Layla was with me. I stayed at the beach long enough, and then I immediately went to go pick her up, and then we went home. So Layla is by me. So he tells me that she's gone, and I literally dropped to the floor and just start screaming and crying. Because I'm like, no, I literally just talked to her like 2 weeks ago. Like, what are you saying? And he tells me that, now my grandma had dementia. My grandma was diagnosed with dementia not too long after she got into the nursing home. And, you know, she would say things on the phone like, if you know what dementia is, then you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get deep into it, but, you know, I'm literally just crying. I'm crying like a baby, like just, and I have my baby standing behind me, and she comes up behind me while I'm on the floor, and she just starts patting my back. She just starts rubbing my back like, it's okay, mommy, it's okay. She has no idea. I'm not on speakerphone. I'm literally holding the phone, and I'm laying on the floor like a corpse. Because I just talked to my grandma 2 weeks ago. I just saw you last month. And I have a picture of the last time I saw my grandma in the assisted living. And she didn't look like herself, but I had hope. You know, I was the one that thought my grandma would live forever, you know, because she was outliving all her friends, all her kids, except for my uncle. So, and when he told me that, a part of me just died. And I feel like she was trying to hold on long enough to just make sure all of her grandkids were good. Like everybody, like I said, I always felt like I didn't belong. I always felt like I never had a place. So I felt like once I told her I was moving to Hawaii and she felt like I was safe, and my sister was doing good in her own space, and, you know, my cousins had their own space and things like that, I felt like that was her way of saying, I can rest now. But I didn't want her to go. But I knew she had to. So, you know, I've only heard my uncle cry one time. And that's when my mom passed at her funeral. I can still hear his scream. I can still hear the 12-year-old boy crying in that funeral home. So when I say my family has suffered a lot of loss, we have. It's like never ending in our family. So once I already lost my mom. And then I already lost another mom. I didn't consider my grandma my grandma. Like, yeah, she was my grandma, but that was my mom, though. She raised me. She took care of me. She provided for me. She looked out for me and my sister, and she loved us to death. Loved us to death. And she made it a point to even let our cousins know, like, you guys have parents. These are my babies, so I have to take care of them. But the fact that my baby just came to console me and comfort me, she's a blessing too. And it's just like, what I feel like God was telling me to go to that beach because he knew I was about to get that news. Because I was just off that day. Way off. But once I went to the beach, got grounded, and came back and got that news, I still wasn't able to handle it. And when I tell you that I could tell my uncle was trying to keep it together, but I knew he was losing it. So I'm trying to be strong for my uncle. And next thing you know, like I said, me and my cousins, my sister and my cousins, we would get on FaceTime and things like that. So when I tell you that once we lost my grandma, we all turned back into little kids. We all turned back into little 7, 9, 3-year-olds. Like, we literally were crying all day. We couldn't get our shit together. We couldn't hold it together. And you don't have to. But it's just like we came together and we literally every day up until we had to catch the flight to go back to Alabama, we were literally falling asleep on the phone because none of us could sleep. None of us could sleep because we just couldn't believe that our grandma was gone. So when I say my family has suffered a lot of loss, and the number one person who held the family together after my mom passed is gone, that really does something to you. But I couldn't stop my life. None of us could stop our lives, but we literally stopped at a time in that moment where we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Literally, I would wake up, go about my day, and I would just cry in the middle of the day. Brushing my teeth, I would just start crying. Dropping my kid off to school, just boo-hoo crying. I could not get my shit together. I've gotten better with it, but and then me and my sister were talking. It's just like we feel like orphans, for real, for real. Because we already lost our mom. And even though we're grown, we lost our grandma. We feel like orphans. We feel like we don't have anybody but our uncle now. So we go down. We have the funeral. And when I tell you, I'm not going to even talk about it. But my brother, I have a brother, a half brother. Ain't no halves around here. Ain't no step, no halves, no nothing. Him and my sister, they have the same dad, which is my dad. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. After my mom, I've only known this man to be my dad. My mom, my brother, and my sister's dad. I've only known him to be my dad. I figure, okay, that's where I get my skin color from and things like that, because my sister is the same, she's chocolate. She's the same color as my mom. And my brother, he's half Japanese. We all know how that comes to play. So his color didn't matter. But I was like, okay, I got my color from my dad. But when I was 12, my sister was about to go down to Florida. My dad lives in Tampa. My dad and my brother, they were about to go down to Florida. She was about to go down to Florida to visit them. But my grandma wouldn't let me go. And I could not understand why. Like, I would write her letters every day and stick it under her door and beg and plead to, like, why does Brittany get to go and I don't get to go? So I have been asking, I'm talking about relentlessly, like, Grandma, why can't I go? Why can't I go? Why can't I go see Dad? Like, Daddy, like, that's not fair. So I remember I got home from school one day, and I go to my grandma's room, and I'm like, I'm going to ask her one last time. So I ask her, and then, now she's sitting on the bed. So my grandma had this rocking chair she's had since before we were born. So she would either be sitting in her rocking chair or she'd be sitting on her bed. So I asked her one last time, and I'm just like, Grandma, can I please go to see my daddy with Brittany? Like, it's not fair. And y'all know, you know what she told me? Now, I love my grandma to death, and I told y'all that she's been through a lot of trauma. She had to face a lot of things that most people don't have to face, didn't have to go through to survive. So when I asked her, could I go see my dad with my sister, she yells out, "That's not your dad." And I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? Yes, that is my dad. Like, I look just like him. Like, what are you talking about? She was like, that's not your dad, and you're not going anywhere with him. Now, mind you, my grandma and my dad, they ain't really, fool with each other. But I didn't know the gist of it. I'm the baby. I'm literally the baby. So, of course, I'm not going to know everything like my brother and sister does, because my brother and sister have memories of all three of us with our parents, but I don't remember that because I'm still in diapers, damn it. Like, so when she says that to me and I look at her and she's like, you're not going anywhere with him. He's not your dad. So I just immediately started crying. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so she pulls out my mom's will. I'm 12. I don't know anything about this. What is a will? What is this? Like, what do you mean? That's not my dad. She pulls out the will and she points to a section 3CB. I'm just talking shit at this point. But I'm literally looking at the will. And it says that Brittany can go blah, 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 blah. But Brianna McDonald is to not go with my dad. Is to not go with Frank. He is not her father. So once again, I'm being rammed in the face with a knuckle sandwich about a generational secret that I had no idea about. And I love my grandma, but it's the way she told me. It's just like, I don't think it would have mattered the way she would have delivered it anyway. But yeah. So I immediately call my dad and I'm just like, just rambling off like, what is grandma talking about? Why is she saying that you're not my dad? What like I'm literally going Speedy Gonzalez on the phone. Like explain this to me. Like, I'm 12. I just lost my mom not too long ago. And I'm being told by my grandma, who I trust and who I love, that you're not my dad. So who is my dad? Like, what? I don't even know me anymore. I don't even know myself. So my dad calmly, he lets me, you know, y'all remember the Wild Thornberries, Donnie? That's literally how I was going on the phone. Like, he literally lets me get, like, he literally lets me get all of it out. And he's like, Bree, I want you to relax and I want you to calm down. He said, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what your grandmother is telling you. I am your dad. I will always be your dad. And that's the end of it. And I'm just crying on the phone, but it made me feel good to know, like, he still loves me. But literally, what do you think that does to a 12-year-old who just lost her mom a year and a half to 2 years before, living with her grandmother who's old school, who really needs a mother, her mother at this time, and then you find out your dad is not even your biological dad. Either way, it doesn't matter. But what do you think that does to a adolescent, a tween? Like, I'm about to be 13. Like, I'm a tween at this point. But we'll get back to that. Anyway, so we're at the funeral. And like I said, my brother comes down. And it's just a good time. We're talking about memories of my grandma and things like that. So we really sent my grandma home well, but it was still hard. But it's just like God was literally, he literally has me in his hands. So we get back home and we actually stayed longer than expected. We stayed down there a week. Oh my God, I do not recommend that. I do not recommend. Oh my God, that was like the longest, hardest week for me because I already don't really care for my hometown. But it's just like, anyway. So I get back to Florida, sell the rest of my things, and July 3rd is here, and it's time for us to go. Now, mind you, my best friend that I was talking about for 8 years, me and her were going through a rocky thing. I just felt like we weren't understanding each other anymore. And my life was going in a different way, and her life was going in a different way. Like I said, we are 7 years apart. So I kind of understood, and I always tried to keep that in the forefront of my mind. Like, I've been through way more things, and that's how I know a lot of people cannot relate to me. Because I've been through so many things, I'm much more equipped, and I'm much more wise to what's actually happening in my life. So we weren't even speaking. Like, she did, message me and said she wanted to see me and Layla before we left. But at that point, I was over it. Like, I didn't care anymore, because you didn't make that opportunity to do that the first time, and you want to wait until I'm leaving. I don't have time to stop. My life is on go. So that's what I did. I jumped on that plane, sold all of my things. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you before we get further into the video. So my cousin meets somebody on Tinder. She meets somebody on the next island over. She's in Kauai, and he's in, what's the name of that island? We're in Kauai. I can't think of the island right now, but I think it starts with a. I can't think of the island right now, but it's literally where the military base is. She met a military man on Tinder. Now, I knew about him. She had been talking about him. Like, she had been single. She was a single mother. So it was exciting for her to finally find somebody that she, was like compatible with. And, they were on the same page and things like that. So, and, she didn't tell me that things were getting as serious as they were. We're going to pause right there. Now, in the meantime, she's talking to him and everything. So we're setting up things up for me to go down there. It's July 3rd. We get on that plane. I done sold all my stuff. I done cleared out my apartment. I done sold my car. And I literally have 7 bags, 7 suitcases, plus a 6-year-old. 7 suitcases, plus a 6-year-old. And I have to go to Miami airport. I get on in Miami airport. I have to fly all the way to LAX airport. And I have a 4-hour fucking layover. Then I have to get on that plane and I have to go to Hawaii. So imagine traveling 7 fucking bags with a 6-year-old who is getting tired, who is, hungry all the time and things like that. But I said, you know what? I'm going to have a better life. Who says that they get to live and move to Hawaii to experience new things? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. So that's what I did. It didn't matter how tired I was. It didn't matter what was, because I set things up to go that way. I secured a job. I bought the plane tickets in advance. All I had to do was coast there. Now, mind you, 7 goddamn luggage. Like, come on now. But you're not going to stop me. You're not going to hinder me on anything. I don't care how many obstacles, how many fucking speed bumps you put in front of my motherfucking face. I'm going to ride over them bitches and wave at your ass in the rear view. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And even my baby was excited to go. Like, okay. So we get down to Hawaii. It's like 9 o'clock at night. We've been traveling we've been traveling for 2 days. 2 days, people. I'm tired. But God, I'm here. I made it. I finally made it. And I'm excited to see what's now July 3rd. So, the 4th of July was the next day. So mind you, I tell you that my cousin was talking to this dude and things like that. But she did not make me aware of how serious it was. So we'll put a pin in that and we're going to come back to that because it's very important. So get down to Hawaii. My cousin picks us up from the airport. Now, her best friend was already down there visiting her for her birthday and whatnot. And she had been there for like a week or 2 weeks. So, and then my cousin was set to hop her ass on a plane to go to the next island to go see her boyfriend. Okay? So for one, and then on top of that, she had her family, her mom, her grandma, and things like that. They were down there. So she had a whole little family affair, and me and Layla are added to the mix. But the thing is, she hopped her ass on a plane to go see him and left me there. Now, mind you, I know her mom, like, they've known me since I was a baby, but I don't fool with them like that. Like, I'm only around them when I'm around Dominique. So I was a little uncomfortable, but I was comfortable. If you know what I'm talking about when it comes to immediate families, your cousin got a family, you get it. You get it. So I was a little out of my element. I just moved down here, and you're not even here to like greet me and welcome me in. Red flag, people. Check the red flag. But I wasn't thinking about it like that because they were set to leave the day that she came back, because she was only down there for like maybe, I don't know, 3 days. I don't know. But the room I'm supposed to be sleeping in, her nana is occupying that. Oh, and her aunt, her nana's sister was also there. I've never really met this lady. But once again, I know how to get in where I fit in. I know how to adapt to my surroundings. It's nothing. As long as I'm content and my child is content, we're good. It's whatever. And we went out, we did things together and things like that. So it was cool. It's not like I did not know these people, but I don't know them like that. That's my uncles in them situation. That ain't mine. Okay? So it's, like I said, we got there July 3rd. She hops her ass on a plane, goes over there to that island. Now, we had already set up a discussion for me to pay $700 for rent and things like that. We had a game plan. Like I said, me and my cousin, we were always on the same time frame. We had been mapping this shit out for months. When I tell you all that shit went out the window as soon as I touched down, red motherfucking flag. But I still wasn't, I'm trying to make the best of it because, I don't start my job until the 22nd of July. My birthday's on the 24th. So I'm just like, okay, so I got 2 weeks to see Hawaii. I got 2 weeks to like get acclimated, get Layla into, get her, start to get enrolled into school. We can go sightseeing and stuff. Like, I love to sightsee. Show me some shit. Like, hello, I want to see the world, basically. But I've seen a couple of places, but whatever. When I tell you, the next day on the 4th of July, it was that afternoon. Now, mind you, I told y'all I sold all my stuff and things like that. So all I had was really cash on me. And I had money in my bank, but not enough to whatever. Okay, I had like a set amount in my bank because I wasn't really fooling with my bank at that time because I wanted to set up another. I had plans. I was going to get another bank account down here and blah, blah, blah. Because I was working, I got hired at a bank. So, of course, I'm going to use and utilize all the tools that I can. Get me a savings, get me a checking, get me a secured credit card. All of that because I worked at banks and I know how the shit goes. Okay? When I tell you, that girl texted me, hey, Bree, I'm negative in my account. Do you think you can go ahead and pay me 2 months rent up front? I'm sorry, what? Yeah. She asked me, you down there gallivanting with your nigga, and you have the nerve to ask me after I've been traveling for 2 days, after I had plans, and we had a plan, we had a set plan on shit, budgeting and all of that. You want to fix your mouth to say you're negative in the red in your account, and you want me to give you 2 months rent up front? Where we do that at? Once again, somebody using me for their own agenda. Once again, somebody not giving a fuck about me and my child and what I've been through. And she knows what I've been through. knows what I've been through. But you so hot tamale, you want to, show face for that man over there. Ain't he in the military? Don't he got you? No, you weren't concerned about that. You used me to get down to Hawaii so you could build yourself up. We'll get there. So I tell her, I'm like, Dominique, all I have is cash. I can't send you anything. And I don't have nothing on Cash App, and the bank's down here. My bank is not down here. Now, mind you, my bank was USAA, the military bank. And that's a digital bank. Like, it's not even, there's no physical bank you can go to. So it's not like I could have deposited the money to send to her. I wasn't going to do that shit no way. Because you're trying to inconvenience me when you're sitting up there in the red. Let that slide. Let it go. So I guess she figured it out. And then she comes back. Her family is gone. We getting situated and whatnot. She shows me around to meet her friends and things like that. And I don't have a car now. So she made a friend down there. She's been down there for almost 2 years. So she had a friend that had a car that she wasn't using because she was using her boyfriend's truck. So she allowed me, sweet friend, love her to death. Because she would braid hair, and she was like a cook and a caterer and things like that. So when Dominique wanted to take her ass over there to the next island to go gallivant with her boyfriend, Sarah, her name was Sarah. Sarah would be like, hey, Bree, I got this hair to do. You want to help me? So I would help her braid, hair. Because, there's not a lot of black people in Hawaii. So people whose hair she would braid, she would put me in. Like, she would give me $100 to do this. Even the braids that she didn't know, the style that she didn't know how to do, she would send the people over to me, and I would braid their hair. So she was putting me in money. So I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Sarah, because Sarah looked out for me. So back to her. So she lets me use her car. Now, where my job is. Now, the job I was at was Gather Federal Credit Union. Literally, if you walked outside of our house, there is a Gather literally next door. But I wasn't at that location. I'm at the goddamn location that's an hour and a half out. An hour, almost 2 hours out. Once again, having to drive my ass to a whole nother city. When I tell you Hawaii is nothing but one road, you get there and you get back. There's no detours. There's no shortcuts. It's nothing but mountains, trees, shit, sand, and motherfucking scenery. So I can only get to my job one way, driving almost 2 hours in the morning. So I will have to leave Layla with my cousin and her daughter until school started, which was no problem, but they were placed in a daycare. You see how we had everything laid out before I even got there? We got them in a summer camp and everything, so that was cool. We were able to do our thing. So I'm getting acclimated at work. Everybody is Hawaii is beautiful because Hawaii, they're really centered around family. They really understand single parenting and things like that. So they welcome me with open arms. And literally my manager and my supervisor, they were really upstanding men, and they really, they really cared for me. So I was fortunate and thankful for that. So a week goes by, and my friend, she needs her car back because her boyfriend and him broke up. Like, she was engaged to be married and everything. They ended up breaking up, so she needed her car back. I understood that with no problem. Now, at that point, how the fuck am I going to get to work? I have to get to work. So you know what I have to do? I have to go get a bus pass, and I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get myself together, make sure my child is good, I get the girls set up with breakfast or whatever they need by the time it's time for them to wake up. Make sure they're dressed. And then I have to go and sit at this bus stop, and I have to sit and I have to drive and ride 2 hours out. I was getting on a bus every goddamn day. Every goddamn day to make sure I made it to work. Because what am I going to do? And in the meantime, I'm trying to get transferred to the bank that is literally 2 seconds, 2 minutes outside my door. But I didn't care. I didn't care. Because there's really no crime in Hawaii. Like, yes, I stick out like a sore thumb. I'm a beautiful black African American woman that is literally on a bus full of Hawaiians. But that didn't matter to me because this is something new. Who can say they do that? And I need to get to work. So I rode that bus for 2 months. Now, in the meantime, my cousin is leaving her daughter with me and going island hopping. Now, he would come over here too sometimes and chill with us. Like, he was cool. He's a cool dude. Like, never had no problem with him. And I'm happy for my cousin that she's finally, found, somebody that she vibe with, somebody that she, feels like is going somewhere. But she was not telling me the full gist of what was going on. So let's get to it. Hold on. But she was not telling me the full gist of what was going on. She didn't tell me that they were falling deeper and deeper and deeper. And they were secretly making plans behind my back to get married, to do all this stuff. After I just moved all of my shit, I sold all of my shit. I had my own. I was about to go back to Alabama. But you stopped me and said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Trust your gut, ladies. Men, I don't care who I'm talking to. Trust your gut. You have to listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Listen to your spirit when something is telling you. Because our family was like, do y'all really want to do that? Y'all ain't never lived with each other. And I'm just like, no, we both have the same mind frame. We both are single mothers who get their money by any means, and we're going to do whatever we need to do for our kids. Now, mind you, my cousin's making like $35 an hour at her job. Told you she was able to get, beautiful benefits, and she got to where she wanted to get to. Cool. But like I said, they were making plans behind my back, and I had no idea what was going on. She wasn't telling me that it was this serious, that they were talking about marriage. So in August, I was just like, I'm tired of riding the bus. I need my own car. So one of my coworkers, her name's Tashi. I love her. Tashi, I am going to go to Hawaii. I'm coming to see you, Buki, one day. We will meet again. Love you. But anyways, me and my coworker, my homegirl Tashi, she, we would talk and stuff like that, And she was like, well, this is where I got my car and things like that. And, so she was like, you need to go up there. Go up there. You have a job. They work with, and the bank I was working at, they are always doing business with this car lot. So one day I get up there, I go, and the man says, yeah, we can get you into a car, blah, blah, blah. The down payment is $850, and then you'll be making your payments every month. But my payments didn't start until October. It's August. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can build up money. I'm only paying $700 to my cousin for rent. Got utilities. I even got food stamps again. Oh, the food stamps. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Do not knock food stamps. Because when you got to come out your motherfucking pocket for food, it's going to matter to you then. So I've never been ashamed about food stamps. I have a kid. I got to eat too. Hell, whatever. We literally getting like $1,500 in food stamps. So food was covered. That rent was covered. I'm about to get my car. So literally August 19th, the day before my grandma's birthday, I got my car. I still got a picture of Layla standing in front of I got a 2016 Nissan Sentra. I love Nissans. Like, those are my whips. Those are my cars. I got a Nissan now. 2016 Nissan Sentra. Literally 33,000 miles on it. Brand new. Slightly used. Oh, I'm in the shit now. I'm rolling. You can't tell me shit now. I got a vehicle. I got a job. Things are moving. Things are moving for me. And then shit gets deep. Got my car August 19th. You tell me why my cousin wants to come 3 days later. She wants to, I literally just got home from work driving 2 hours in fucking traffic. I didn't get off work until 5 o'clock. I have to drive so I wasn't getting home until like 7:30, 8 o'clock every day. Literally leaving before my child goes to school, coming back after it's almost time for my child to get ready to go to bed, spending no time with her. No time with her. I'm not used to this. I'm out of my element because I'm always there for my child. But I'm like, okay, maybe this is something that I have to go through right now. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Hell the fuck no, it didn't. Oh, when I tell you the atmosphere of that house changed and I picked up on it, every weekend she was taking her ass down to motherfucking the next island, chilling with her boyfriend, having friends fly into town. We haven't even got acclimated with our everyday life yet. And you got everybody else infiltrating what the fuck we had planned months in advance. Why would you do that to me? Favorite cousin? I'm your favorite cousin. Why would you do that to me? I would never do that to you. If I knew in my heart that I was falling in love with somebody and that we were talking about marriage and plans, like, mind you, she only known this man for 8 months, but it doesn't matter. You don't know what your love story is going to be. That's why I never judge anybody on how fast they get married or how fast they get into a relationship. Because if it works, it works. That's for you. But don't have other people in your shit that could potentially fall on their ass. You weren't thinking about me at all. You weren't thinking about my kid at all. Once again, another motherfucker trying to just toss me and my kid to the side like we are garbage. You didn't give a fuck. So, literally 3 days after I get my car, getting home from work, literally 8 o'clock at night, I'm tired. I want to see my kid. I'm hungry. She says, I want to have a talk with you. We go sit on the couch. And she says, I think you need to start looking at Craigslist. I think you need to start finding somewhere to go because I'm not renewing my lease, and me and Case are moving to the next island over to be with Brendan. Mind you, I got there July fucking 3rd. It's August 25th. I ain't been there for I've only been there for a month. And you want to fix your motherfucking mouth to sit up there and tell me that I need to start looking for somewhere to be? Knowing it's Hawaii, knowing it's hard to find shit out here? Knowing I have not even been here long enough to even know what you're leaving me on an island by myself with my kid. You are leaving me on an island by myself with my kid. How could you do that to me? I don't know nobody out here. I only moved here because of you. Because we had a plan. But you just said, fuck me. You used me. You used me for your own agenda. So, after that, I literally say, you don't give a fuck about me or my kid. So you know what happens? Bree got to put the brave face on because I was already tired of not being able to see my kid, not being able to enjoy Hawaii, but I only been there a month. You can't expect things to just unfold right then and there. I know this. I know how to bide my time. But you didn't give a fuck about that. You wanted to go be in love and be in La La Land and go get married and shit like that. Cool, fine, but why would you put me in that shit? And I'm going to tell you this. My cousin is the type who don't give a fuck about nothing. Once she set her mind to something, she don't care who she fuck over. She don't care what the fuck is going on with you or anything around you. She gonna do what the fuck she want to do. So you know what she told me? That's why you can't keep nobody. That's why you single. That's why you're alone. I'm gonna have my family. The exact words she uttered to me. I'm gonna have my family. And you just gonna be over here miserable. I will never be miserable. You want to have your family? Go have your family. Cool. So from that point on, it was just a dark cloud over the fucking house. She's going hanging with her friends, but leaving her kid with me every weekend. And I'm trying to work on Saturdays. I literally had just picked up a bunch of Saturday shifts because I had to do my little, they wanted me to make sure that I was acclimated in the job before I could start working on Saturdays. Literally going to work crying every day, trying to figure out how the fuck where's me and my kid gonna live once again? Where's me and my child gonna stay? Not talking to her ass. She over here gallivanting around Hawaii, not giving a fuck about me or my kid, but you're leaving your kid with me every weekend to go fuck. Where we do that at? So it got bad. It got bad. I wasn't talking to her ass or nothing. So you know what she does? So I'm making plans to go back the fuck home. I'm talking about, I didn't tell my family anything, what was going on. Because I know how to eat shit. And I know how to figure shit out to where I can get on to the next phase. One day I get home. And she asked me, so you found any spots? You found anywhere to go yet? Fuck is you talking about, bitch? So I ignore her. She was like, I'm really upset with you, Bree, because you didn't even ask me to help you find somewhere to go. Bitch, who you talking to? Who are you talking to? First of all, I've been here a month, and then you want to tell me I got to find somewhere to go, and then on top of that, you mad because I'm not talking to your ass, and you mad because I'm not asking for your advice on where the fuck I should be at? Get the fuck out my face, bitch. So it got heated. We were about to go blow for blow in that motherfucking house. But you know what? I wasn't even finna do that because Dominique ass can't fight. You can't fight, bitch. So what am I gonna exert my energy for when all I'm gonna have to do is give your ass a 1-2 and you gonna be out cold in front of your kid? And I kept saying, Dominique, we not finna do this in front of our kids. We not finna do this in front of our kids. I don't give a fuck. I like getting loud, getting unruly, getting upset with me. Bitch, how dare you? How fucking dare you? I'm talking about they already had the wedding date set and all, y'all. Saying, fuck me. You over here trying to show me rings and shit like that. Why the fuck do I care about that? And not once gave her any bad energy when it came. Like I said, I don't know. You don't know what your love story is going to be. But when you put other people in your shit and you fuck their life up to get what you want, you think that's going to end well? Do you really think God is going to bless that union? Do you really think God is going to bless you? Not happening. It's not happening. It may take a year. It may take 3 years. It may take 5 years, bitch. But you going to get yours. Please understand that. And please understand God does not play about me. He never has. And he never will. But we'll wait on it. So it's shit going up. Shit going up. She falling out with her friends, being rude, just walking around here like she hot shit because you about to get married. Y'all ain't even, like, the man ain't even fucking proposed to you for real. But that's your shit. And then on top of that, after we go up, what she wants to do, she wants to, now our family, we had a group chat with all of us in there. She wants to group chat the whole family, talking about everything that's going on. I'm talking about trying to spin the narrative, trying to beat the narrative so she can have people on her side. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And you know who was on my side? My motherfucking sister. My motherfucking sister. Because my sister knew. My sister knew because I hadn't been posting on Instagram for real. I hadn't even really been talking to them for real. Once again, when shit is happening with me, I'm going into hermit mode. I'm going into hermit mode because I got some shit to figure out. I got some shit to figure out. Because I'm going to either go to jail for busting this bitch across her head, or I just got to figure it out. So she texts the whole, I'm talking about every day, message after message after message, calling me a slack, calling me a deadbeat, saying that I put my mother responsibilities on her. How the fuck did I do that, bitch? How did I do that? When I'm over here working, I'm over here sitting up here driving 2 hours out again for work. Once again, calm down, Bree. I'm sorry, guys. But when you have to rehash shit, now this has been sitting on my spirit for 6 years. No. I've been here. It'll be 4 years in November that I've been here. So before that, so literally like 4 years. So I'm sorry if my voice is elevated or things like that, but bitches had me fucked up. Bitches done had me fucked up my whole life. My own blood. My own fucking blood. Spin the narrative. So you know who's on her side? Her motherfucking daddy and her motherfucking sister. But you know who's on my side? My motherfucking sister. Because my motherfucking sister know how I come. She know how I move. And she knew when she kept seeing me with the 2 girls every motherfucking weekend and my cousin is nowhere in fucking sight. What'd that tell you? What'd that tell you? Once again, be mindful. It doesn't matter if it's family, friend, lover, it don't matter. Be attentive, be alert, and know when people are trying to use you, abuse you, and discard you like you are trash. I ain't never been trash. I ain't gonna ever be trash. Do you see it? It will never happen, bitch. After we just lost our grandma, after all the shit that you knew I've been through, you didn't give a fuck. All you saw was money. You money hungry. All you saw was money. Okay? So you know what I do? I make the plan. I'm going back the fuck home to Alabama. Mind you, there's really nowhere for me to go. Like, really, nowhere for me to go. But you know where I could go? To my sister. You know who was there for me? My sister. Like she always is. So when I tell you, any bitch got a problem with my sister, bitch, I'm going right in your cranium. I'm crimson chinning you, bitch. Because I don't play by mine. So you know what I do? I didn't pay her ass no rent. Bitch, I ain't paying you shit. I'm finna get the fuck on. Because I got to use the last of my fucking money. Then I got to be embarrassed and go tell I'm literally crying at work again. Again. And you know what's so sweet about it? My coworker, the one who helped me, the one who guided me on where to find my car at, all of my coworkers surrounding me, loving on me, trying to find me places to live at. But it's just like, I can't do that. I don't know anybody here. Florida was a different story. I'm 12 hours away. I can get in my car and drive. I can't do that in Hawaii. What if something happens? I am not able to get to my family how I need. They're not able to get to me how they need. But bitch, you knew that. You knew that. Once again, a motherfucker trying to isolate me for their own selfish ass reasons. But I digress. So I make the plan. I gotta tell these people that I gotta give the car back. I have to give a voluntary repossession on a fucking car that I only had for a fucking month. Fucking up my credit and shit. But you didn't give a fuck. Once again, having to pack up all my shit. Literally had to throw clothes away so I wouldn't have to travel with 7,000 goddamn bags again for my kid. And you know what this bitch did? So my last day of work was October 19th. And my flight down here to Alabama was October 22nd. So I worked every Saturday I could. I busted my ass getting all the money that I could so I can make sure me and my kid at least come home with something. And at this point, like I said, I didn't have nowhere to go. I wasn't going to be able to find an apartment. I don't have a job anymore. So you know where I'm going? I'm going right to my sister's house and I'm getting on that air mattress because I'm home. I'm around people who actually love me, people who actually want the best for me. Now, my sister, she has her own family. She has her boyfriend that they've been together for years. She has my niece. They have their own little family. But they welcome me. They welcome me and my kid. And I was just happy to be away from fuck niggas. Fuck niggas. 7 fucking years of turmoil. 7 fucking years of people just spitting in my face. When all I've done was giving them love. When all I've done was try to be there. When all I've done was hold and carry my weight. Never put anything on anybody. But it's always fuck Bree and her baby too. But I'm a G. I don't give a fuck what's going on. My kid will always have, and I will always make sure that she does. So, this bitch got mad because I didn't want to pay her rent. So she got her motherfucking daddy, my uncle, talking about, can you just, now my uncle is a Cancer. My uncle is the median of the family. He's the only man in the family around all this estrogen. So, of course, he want to call and try to be the mediator. No, I don't give a fuck what you talking about, Uncle Chris. Because your heathen-ass daughter is wrong and you know it. But you don't want to tell her that. You don't want to say that. Once again, somebody else not showing up for me when right is right and wrong is wrong. Because if you would have told me that you were falling in love, that you felt like things were going fast, you would have told me not to fucking come down there. I would have took my sexy ass back to Alabama like I originally wanted to when I found out my grandma's health was declining. And you took that time away from me. But that's the way God intended it. That's the way God wanted it to be, because God wanted me to see who the fuck you were. I don't give a fuck if you blood or not, bitch. You ain't no blood of mine no more. So you go and have your family. But I tell you, God will never bless. And let me tell you this. She didn't even want my uncle to be involved. She didn't give a fuck what he said. She didn't give a fuck what was going on with him. You want to know why? Because she was mad that he wouldn't come up out of his pocket $5,000 to pay for an online college. When he has a whole family, kids, and a fucking grandkid that he has full custody of. You about to get married, bitch. What the fuck I need to give you money for? Once again, money hungry. Money hungry. And worried about your own shit. She was saying, I don't care what my daddy say. And mind you, they've never met this man. Mind you, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it does not matter what or how your love story is. But you think you can disregard people and you think that marriage gonna be blessed? Wait on it, bitch. Wait on it. Sorry, lashes coming up. I'm crying. But, so, I didn't pay her ass no rent. I literally had to take the car back. I hadn't made no payments on it or nothing yet. Took the car back. Voluntary repossession on my goddamn name. And you know what I do? I set the plan to go the fuck home. And you know what this bitch does? Once again, leaving me with her goddamn kid the weekend I'm supposed to leave. You gallivanting your ass over planning your wedding. Trifling asshole. Trifling is what you are. So literally, she leaves me the car. And we are literally swapping at the airport. Giving her kid back, getting my bags out of the motherfucking car. And me and Layla are headed down to Alabama. So when I tell you, and the thing is, I was already out of my element. There ain't no black people like that for real in Hawaii. I gotta be amongst my people. Like, y'all are sweet and all, but no, I gotta be amongst my people. I felt like a fish out of water. There's nothing to do in Hawaii. It ain't nothing but beaches and shit. And if you want to do something, you got to travel 2 hours. Like the main shit that you could take kids to was where I worked at. You think I want to work somewhere Monday through goddamn Saturday, and then for me to find something to do, I gotta get my ass up and go 2 hours again in the environment that I'm already in every goddamn day? No. Me and Layla, we're over it. So we leaving. And leaving your ass right where you stand, bitch. Go have your family. I'm going to have my family too. But I'm going to have my family in the just way, in the right way, in the divine way. I'm not going to force shit. And God's going to bless my union. Believe that. And I don't care how long it takes me, bitch, because I didn't have to rush for no dick. I didn't have to rush because I felt like, oh, I wasn't going to have this man long enough, so let me hurry up and tie him down. I don't got to do none of that shit because what's mine is mine, and what's for me is for me. But yeah, basically, that is what transpired with me being there 4 months. July, August, September, October. Oh, shit. Really, only 3 months. So, when I tell you a bitch can't stop a motherfucking thing, Bree will never stop going. I will never love Rich Homie. Like, I will never stop going in. Nobody will ever dictate what the fuck is going to go on with my life. I don't care what obstacles, what speed bumps, what roadblocks, what delays you try to cast over me. It's not going to happen. Okay? All right. So basically, I'm going to end this video because that is the little segment from my experience in Hawaii, which wasn't a good one. And I'll be back. We'll continue to go back to Invader Zim and Gert later. But then I will talk about, once I got back home to Alabama, how I just started to prosper. But thank you for listening. And I'm going to catch y'all later. Bye.